Welcome back to Focus on Pre-K. In this section, we will be talking about developing early writers. Oftentimes, when people talk about writing, they're really talking about handwriting. Handwriting is the formation of letters, words, and symbols, and it is a function of writing. But the power and potential of writing is much more than what we see on paper. Writing is connected to oral language development, one of our primary literacy goals. It's for different purposes, and ultimately, the power of writing is that it communicates our ideas, thoughts, and feelings. What does it look like in a classroom? How is it connected to oral language? Yum, mouth-watering pizza. Great descriptive language that sounds exactly the way a child might emphasize it. Conventions that are eventually folded into writing, such as finger spacing, will make more sense to an early writer when they can hear the break between words, just as you do in many Swipple activities. This chart shows what research says about the progression of children's writing, with examples for each stage. Notice that scribbling and drawing are stages of writing, and that actual letter and word formation comes much further down the line. A quick note about supporting letter formation. Even though that shouldn't be the emphasis of what you're doing with children's writing, it's perfectly appropriate and encouraged that you give children lots of opportunity to develop this. In many classrooms, children sign in as part of their morning routine. Oftentimes, we might make dots when children are struggling to form the letters for them to connect. This is not recommended because what they can't see is the whole letter. What they see is that you wrote a series of dots. And you know for yourself that many times when you say, okay, go ahead and connect the dots that I just made, they don't necessarily do it sequentially, but connect them all over the place, and it looks nothing like the letter. An alternative is to write the whole letter or word in highlighter. Ask the children to trace over the highlighter. In this way, they see the entire letter fully formed, and they can make the transfer to that is how an A is written easier than trying to translate a series of dots into the letter. In Unit 2, writing is prominent in many of the read-alouds. In The Little Red Hen, she makes a grocery list of ingredients to take to the store, just as children will do when they play grocery store in centers. They will create recipes like the hen used. Notice how their experience with nonfiction features in Let's Find Out About It texts helps support this. The power of writing to communicate thoughts, ideas, and feelings is elevated in a letter to Amy, when Peter's mom says she must be a very special friend to write a letter to. Just as children will write their special family and friends to invite them to the end of the unit celebration. We see drawing as a stage of writing in Matthew and Tilly, as they use not just pencil and paper, but chalk that they use for hopscotch and finger paints for their paintings and grocery store signs, just as children will make grocery store labels and advertisements in centers. Dandelion also receives an invitation that's made extra special with its fancy writing. In Hooray a Piñata, the mom makes a different kind of list, a to-do list in preparation for the party, which children can also make to prepare for the class celebration. In Road Builders, children will see more examples of nonfiction writing in the form of blueprints, plans that are similar to what we'll encourage children to do before they build in blocks. Modeling writing, such as in this small group activity called Documenting a Process, connects back to the idea of visible learning. Writing can also support social and emotional development. In this example, a child conveys his understanding of his quote-unquote mistake in his drawing that he models after how the teacher drew the class agreements. Similar to visible learning, writing is a way that children can demonstrate concretely what they understand about abstract concepts, such as numbers and building blocks. Just as there is a difference between writing and handwriting, so is there a difference between numeracy, what children understand about numbers, and numeralcy, how well they can write the symbols for the numbers.